Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Wormpal, the coach of the Stavanger Vikingvolts, and welcome back to Season 1 of the UDN. This is our Week 3 battle against the New Jersey Noctowls, coached by Turnt or U-Turnt. So please go check out his YouTube channel. Link is in the description. This is one of the people in our division, which means that we play him again later in the season, and we are both currently 1-1, so this is a very important game for both of us. We really need a win here. If you haven't watched Team Builder video I uploaded yesterday, I highly recommend you to go check out that. If you are wondering what Pokemon we brought, what sets we brought, and why we are bringing them. But in case you haven't watched it, or if you don't want to watch it, I will quickly run down each of the sets I'm bringing. We have a pretty common Dragonium Sea Dragon Dance Salamence. We have a specially defensive Ordino with Mental Herb. We have a physically defensive Seismitoad with Stealth Rock. A Choice Specs Starmie, a Light Clay Rotom Heat with dual screens, also special defensive, and we have a Life Orb Bulk Up Lucario. You can see his team on the other side. He has Mega Venusaur, Tornadus T, Buzzwole, Metagross, Manaphy, and Flygon. Kind of what I expected, but he did not bring Umbreon and Diancie, which I really thought he would bring instead of maybe like Flygon or Buzzwole. But no Umbreon means that Starmie can just kinda hit stuff every time it comes in. But it does also mean that Lucario is less useful and I can't really set up on anything. And no Diancie means that my Salamence can just click Outrage whenever it wants to. I don't have that many things to set up on, but he doesn't have that many things to wall me either, so I was pretty happy to not see any of those two mons. Let's start the battle. We'll lead off with our Starmie, because I just explained he did not bring Umbreon, so he doesn't have any good walls to like switch into this. He leads Tornadus, which does outspeed me, and I don't want to take a U-turn, so I switch into my Rotom Heat here. He goes Mega Venusaur. I of course set up my first screen, outside light screen, since this is, you know, a special attacker. And here I wanted to maybe try to Volt Switch into something like Lucario, maybe try to set up on this Mega Venusaur, but he does predict the Volt Switch by switching into Flygon, so that was a great play by him. I don't want to take too much damage from the Leech Seed, so I decided to switch out here into my physically defensive Seismitoad. This is my main. Switch into his Flygon. He clicks U-turn. Gets some momentum, switches into his Tornadus, and normally I wouldn't want to stay in on his Tornadus because it gets moves like Grass Knot, but since I have the light screen, I knew I could live a Grass Knot if he has it, so I just wanted to set up rocks and kind of scout it to see if he had Grass Knot or Defog or something like that. But I don't want to lose my Seismitoad yet. Maybe I can try to wish it up with Ordino later in the game. So I switched into that here, and he does also have the Defog, which is kind of annoying. Here he clicks U-turn, reveals his third move. That must mean his last move kind of has to be Hurricane, because you know it's stab attack. And when I played this battle, I was really surprised he didn't bring like a Hidden Power Steal or something for my Mega Diancie. But looking at the battle after I have played it, it kind of does make sense, because Diancie still takes a lot from Grass Knot. But he clicks U-turn here, switches into his Metagross. Here I think I could have maybe tried to Wish Pass into Seismitoad, but I didn't want to risk him going for a Sand Headbutt, possibly killing me. But I stay in and knock off his Shock Berry, which will be very useful for sweeping with Salmon's late game. And here he goes Manaphy, and I of course don't want him to set up on me, so I try to click Toxic here, but he switches into his Mega Venusaur, which is a poison type, so it is of course immune to Toxic. But knowing that Manaphy is not a setup variant makes me like very relieved, because that is so much easier to deal with. Here I Wish Pass into my Rotom Heat, because again I want to set my screens back up and Mega Venusaur can't really do much to me. This time I click Reflect first, thinking that maybe he wants to switch into Flygon again, but he just stays in it, Sludge Bombs me. I set up the light screen here, Sludge Bombs again. The latency takes me down very low, down to 22%, but this is why I put on Pain Split. As you can see, very useful here. He predicted me to switch out there, so he clicked Leech Seed again, and well, I can't really do much to him here, so I do switch out into my Starmie, hoping that he would not go for a Giga Drain, but no, he was very unlikely that he would click Giga Drain there, so get a pretty good switch into Starmie here. And since he didn't bring Umbreon, Metagross is the only Psychic Resist on his team, but that doesn't take hits very well from, you know, Hydro Pump. So I can most of the time just click Psychic in this game, but I wanted to click Rapid Spin here just to get rid of the Stealth Rocks, because they will be very annoying for my Rotom Heat and my Salmons. So I just wanted to get rid of those. And here I'm locked into Rapid Spin, so I of course have to switch out. I go into my Audino, which, because it is my special defensive wall. And again, the thing I do every time I go into Audino is click Wish. And now that I have Reflect up, I know that I can live any hit from this Metagross, so I get to pass a Wish into my Seismitoad, which is very nice because now it's almost back in full health. He switches out into his Tornadus. I clicked Scald, maybe try to get the burn. I don't get it. And here I try to not be so predictable, and instead of switching out into Audino, I stayed in and clicked Stealth-Rock, hoping he would overpredict, click U-turn or something. But he clicks Hurricane, which is not too bad because I leave it, it's not Grass Knot. I'm just happy it didn't click Grass Knot there. And this turn he's obviously gonna defog, so I switched into my Rotom Heat here, but he does not defog, he clicks another Hurricane, and I think I must have done my math very wrong here, because I thought I could live 2 Hurricanes after the Stealth Rock damage, but it turns out I cannot. And he does land 2 Hurricanes in a row, which is a little surprising, because actually 3 Hurricanes in a row, because he landed one on Seismitoad. I go Starmie here. I went into my Starmie thinking that maybe I outspeed, maybe it's not max speed. And he also thinks that I outspeed him, so he switches into his Manaphy. But he takes so much damage from the Psychic, you know, Specs Analytic, and here he switches into his Metagross because he, you know, calculating from that damage, he knew that I was Specs. But still, even though Metagross 4 times resists my Psychic, it still takes 23%, which is quite a lot. Here I switch into my Audino, maybe trying to, you know, Wish again, and he gets a crit on the Earthquake, which is very unfortunate because I believe that means I will die to a Meteor Mash or something like that. So I can't stay in and Wish. I have to switch out, maybe get some Regenerator health, so that I can switch in later in the game, because I don't want to lose my Audino yet. So that's why I switch into Seismitoad here. He clicks another Earthquake, 24%, another one will kill me. But here he makes a very weird play. I think he switches out into his Tornadus, letting me Scald him, and I do get the burn, which is pretty nice. He's not physical Tornadus, but it's still some good chip damage. He defogs away the rocks here. Well, I click Icy Wind just to get a little bit of damage on him, slow him down. And here he switches into his Mega Venusaur while I go Audino. To again Wish Pass into Seismitoad maybe. He just really struggles dealing with my Audino at this point. I click Wish, try to switch into my Lucario here actually. Maybe try to set up on the Venusaur, but he doubles into Tornadus, and I don't think it's quite in range for extreme speed yet, so I didn't want my Lucario to just die to Hurricane, so I switched out into Audino here. And again, you know what I'm gonna click here. He U-turns, and I of course click which he goes into Buzzwole, which I think was a misplay by him, because that's like the only Pokemon that cannot kill my Seismitoad in one hit. So I do get another Wish, put it almost back up to full health again. He goes Flygon, clicks U-turn again, and the way he's playing this Flygon really makes me think that he is Choice Scarfed, and you can see none of his other Pokemon were Choice Scarfed, and Scarf Flygon does really make sense against my team to maybe stop Salmas from sweeping. But here I predicted him to go for a Defog after I set up my rocks, so I switch into Starmie. And here again I'm thinking that I outspeed, and he thinks the same, so he switches out his Tornadus. He goes Metagross. I did predict that, so I click Hydro Pump, but I miss, which is very unfortunate, because since he knows I am Specs and locked into Hydro Pump, he gets a very free switch into Mega Venusaur, and that Hydro Pump would have killed the Metagross, so very unfortunate miss right there. I switch into Lucario, maybe yeah, try to set up on this Venusaur, but here I switch out again, trying to scout for an Earthquake maybe, and he does reveal that his last move is Earthquake. So he has Earthquake, Leech Seed, Synthesis, and Sludge Bomb, so no grass type attacking move, which means he can't really hurt my Seismitoad that bad, which is going to be very useful information for later in the game. But I switch into Starmie because I take any hit from this pretty well, since he doesn't have, you know, grass type move. And here I of course click Psychic, because anything is going to take a lot of damage, including this Metagross. And here I think I might have made a little bit of a mistake. Again, I didn't want to be so predictable. I thought the switch into Seismitoad was very obvious here, so I thought he would just stay in and set up rocks maybe. So what I did was I stayed in and clicked Psychic, knowing that I can't 2-hit KO him. He does set up these rocks. I click Bullet Punch, which takes me down to 11%. And I'm not surprised that he had Bullet Punch or that he went for it, but I was thinking that maybe I would have a little more health remaining, because at 11% I cannot switch in on Stealth Rock again, and Starmie is my only hazard remover, and I'm locked into another move, so I can't really do anything about it. So my only option here is to stay in on the next turn, and he goes Tornadus. And turns out he did in fact outspeed me after all. So we were both wrong about that one. Kills me with U-turn. Here I go Seismitoad. He goes Tornadus while I set my rocks back up. Here I think I switch back into Audino as usual, while he clicks Grass Knot, hoping that I would stay in, but I didn't want to do that time. He goes Buzzwole here. I'm not sure why he always goes Buzzwole, because Seismitoad just walls him so well. Here I think he clicks Iron Head for some reason. I don't really understand why, because none of the Pokemon on my team are weak to Steel, so maybe that was a misclick or something. Here switches into his Manaphy, takes the Scald from my Seismitoad pretty well, and I was afraid of maybe an energy ball, so I didn't want to stay in here. Go into my specially defensive Audino. He can't do too much to me here, and he toxics me. I just wanted this Manaphy gone, so I tried to kill him with knockoffs. But the Mega Audino, no, regular Audino is just so weak that knockoff only does 14%. He tries to toxic me. I get rid of the poison by clicking heal bell. I also wish back up before killing him with knockoff, so I'm not that low on HP after I kill him. And you see Audino actually picking up a kill. 4-4 at this point. Pretty close. Switches a Venusaur here. And since I know he doesn't have a grass type move, I can switch into my Seismitoad pretty safely. Or actually, I didn't do that. I just clicked heal bell to get rid of the poison. But here I switch into Seismitoad. I take the Earthquake very well because I'm physically defensive. And here next turn you can see he hard switches out instead of clicking U-turn. So that confirms that he is Choice Scarf. He goes Buzzwole here again. I really don't know why. A Scald. I don't get a burn unfortunately, but you know, that's what it is. Clicks Leech Light and he gets another critical hit, which is pretty unfortunate. Yeah, you can see I Scald him and I do get the burn, which means I do live the next hit no matter what. But from this range I cannot live another hit from Flygon, and it's gonna be more difficult to Wish Pass from my Audino. So that critical hit was a little unfortunate. But now that Buzzwole is burned, I know that he's not gonna do the most damage to any of my mons really, so I thought this could maybe be my opportunity to go into Salamence here and set up Dragon Dance. So that is what I do. He goes Tornadus here. I know that the strongest move he can hit me with is Hurricane, which does not kill. So I stay in, click a Dragon Dance, he clicks Hurricane. He does not confuse me. I do get the Dragon Dance, so I do outspeed now. Here I fire off my C move to not lock myself into an outrage, which does kill, and I do get the Moxie boost, +2. Nothing is living a hit on his team now, so the only thing that is standing in my way of winning is this Flygon, which I know is Choice Scarf, and if he is max speed Jolly, we should speed tie here. And you can see we do win the speed tie, which is very good. That means he cannot live an outrage from my Salamence anymore, and we do pick up a 4-0 victory over the New Jersey Noctowls. He really needed to win that speed tie to win. So yeah, there it is. GG to Turnt. That was a pretty good game, I would say. A very long game, 66 turns. In real time, I think this lasted a little over an hour. I think we both prepped and played pretty well. We both made a few weird plays, but for the most part, it was pretty well played by both of us, I think. Oh, let me just take some water. The match was a little haxy, especially for me, since I did get a little unlucky several times in the game. One with Starmie missing the Hydro Pump on the Metagross. That was pretty huge, because if I'd hit that, Metagross would have been dead. Starmie would have been still alive, and yeah, I could have still did a lot of work with that Starmie. And I also he also critical hit me 2 times, Both of them were pretty unfortunate, not game-changing, but they did matter a little bit. And he also hit 5 out of 5 hurricanes from his tornadoes, which is just insane. 70% accuracy. I don't have a lot of luck with hurricane, but hitting 5 out of 5 is just insane. And he didn't reveal an item in the game, so that really makes me think that he could have been like white lens or something. I didn't ask him after the game, but yeah. But despite all that bad luck, I did get very lucky at the end where it really mattered. Outspeeding his Flygon in the speed time. So that means we pick up a 4-0 victory over the New Jersey Noctowls. We are now 2-1 with a +3 differential. We are tied for first place in our division. I'm pretty happy about that. Salmon's picking up 4 kills, in addition to the, well, if we include the kill from last week, Salmon is now our kill leader with 5 kills. But the real MVPs of this battle have to be Odino and Seismitoad. They just did such a good job at walling all of his threats. But yeah, again, go check out U-Turn's YouTube channel. A link is in the description. Next week we are playing against Killer Tomato, so make sure you don't miss out on that video. But until next time, goodbye.